You ever watch someone's face change the second someone more important walks into the room? Like, you're mid-conversation. They're looking at you, nodding, seem interested, and then someone else shows up. Someone with more status, more power, whatever, and their whole energy shifts. Eyes go somewhere else. You're still talking, but they're not really there anymore. You've probably done it too. That's people showing you exactly where you rank, and most people don't even realize they're doing it. There are patterns like this everywhere, mechanisms people follow without thinking, and the ones who see them, they move different. They don't get blindsided, they just know. I'm going to show you 5 of these. They come from people who understood power better than almost anyone. Philosophers, strategists, people who survived revolutions and shaped empires. The last one's the darkest. That one's about you. If you leave before that, you're going to miss the point. So here is the first one. When people praise you to your face, they're not celebrating you. They're figuring out where your ego is. Han Feizi, Chinese philosopher, over 2,000 years ago, he said, when someone praises you, they're measuring you for weakness. They're finding out what you're insecure about, what makes you feel good, what buttons they can push later when they need something. But when people criticize you behind your back, that's different. That means they can't say it to your face. You actually have power over them. Think about who praises you the most and who talks about you when you're not around. Those answers aren't random. All right, second truth. You know when someone says, I'm just being honest, right before they say something that destroys you, they'll expose something you're insecure about, embarrass you in front of people, and then when you get upset, they act confused. What? I thought you could handle the truth. Nietzsche talked about this. He said people don't always tell the truth to help you. Sometimes they tell it to wound you, and honesty becomes the excuse. Here's how you know the difference. Do they say it in private, where it could actually help, or in public, where it humiliates you? If it's public, they're not trying to help. They're trying to hurt, and they're using honesty as cover, so you can't call them out without looking sensitive. You felt this. Someone being real with you, but something felt off. It didn't feel like they wanted you to improve. It felt like they wanted to see you hurt. That's because they did. Third one. This one's about why people turn on you. People forgive you for being wrong. They don't forgive you for being right at their expense. Talleyrand, French diplomat, survived the revolution, Napoleon, everything. And he figured out early, people care way more about their image than they care about facts. You correct someone in front of other people, even if you're completely right, you just made an enemy. They're not going to remember being wrong. They're going to remember that you embarrassed them. So when someone makes a mistake and you point it out publicly, you're not helping them. You're marking yourself as a threat to their ego. And eventually they'll get even. You've lost people over this, not because you were wrong, because you were right, and it cost them something they couldn't afford to lose. Number 4, this one explains something you've probably noticed but never understood. Why do people who have everything together end up isolated? Someone's smart, successful, got their life in order, everything looks good, and somehow people don't really like them. Robert Greene talks about this. Never appear too perfect. When you look flawless, you make people feel inadequate, and they punish you for it. Not openly. They just pull back, distance themselves, criticize you when you're not there, wait for you to fail so they can feel better. But if you show a flaw, something small, something that doesn't actually matter, people relax. You become human to them. Strategic imperfection. The people who get this don't try to look perfect. They let people see something minor, a quirk, a harmless mistake, something relatable that doesn't threaten their actual position, and people trust them more because of it. And the last one, this is the darkest. Machiavelli said, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few people know what you really are. People don't judge you by your intentions. They judge you by what they see, by the outcome, by the story they tell themselves about you. You could be loyal, thoughtful, kind, doesn't matter. If the situation makes you look selfish or weak or cold, that's what sticks. Perception is reality. But here's the uncomfortable part. You probably don't know how people actually see you. You've been adjusting for so long, changing how you act depending on who's watching, performing different versions of yourself in different situations, that the real you and the version people see aren't the same anymore. So who are you? Not who you think you are. not who you want to be. Who do people think you are when you're not in the room? Because that's the version that shapes everything. How they treat you, how they talk about you, whether they trust you. And you probably have no idea what that version looks like. So yeah, those are the 5. If you made it here, you just learned things most people will never consciously see. And once you see them, you can't ignore them anymore. You're going to notice these patterns everywhere now. Conversations, relationships, the gap between what people say and what they actually do. And that's when you stop being naive